Hello, you bum sniffers, and welcome to my Pokémon Black, Hardcorn, and Nuzlock. Pokemon Black is not one of the Pokemon games I've played very much of. I only really played it once when it came out, and then a few times in high school, so it has been a hot minute. So with that said, here is the rule set that I will be using. The first rule is, you can only catch the first Pokemon you encounter on any given route, city, or named area. You also must name this Pokemon, and if that Pokemon faints, it is considered dead, and is no longer usable. Now, the hardcore part of the rule set adds some extra rules just to spice it up and make it a bit more difficult. The first of those rules are, you cannot use any items in battle. So, no potions or like X attacks or something like that, but hold items are fine. Next up is, I cannot level up my Pokemon past the next gym leader. And or the champion. And finally, if I for whatever reason black out, then the game is over, and I must be exiled forever to Holland. I will also be using the species clause, and with that, let's not jump right in, because I need to talk to you about something that is very important. That is Reshiram. Reshiram is a pretty well-designed Pokemon, until you notice its weird fur penis, which I did not notice until watching this title screen. It looks especially bad in this frame, just take a look at this. Okay, now let's jump into the game. We are introduced to the world of Pokemon by someone's hot mom.
I want mommy.
I make myself a dude, name myself Cringe, and we get introduced to my two friends, Chirin, who is an asshole, and Bianca, who is dumb. And with that, our adventure can officially begin, with Chirin and I sitting in a room, staring at a box, as Chirin strikes this, frankly, fabulous pose. Everything's going fine until, a female has entered my lair. Quickly, activate countermeasures. Swoon.exe, go! So, I have a Wii. You wanna play some Mario Party 8? The good old PC. I wonder if I remembered to X off that. Fine, I'll open the box, jeez. In it, there are 3 starter Pokemon that I will go over right now. First off, we have the Smug Leaf Pokemon, Snivy, who is, I mean, if it had its hidden ability, I still wouldn't get any use out of it, because it doesn't get Leaf Storm until level 62. And with all those two things, you're basically just looking at a fast Meganium, who's shittier at tanking. Next up, we have Oshawott, who is a honestly kind of tempting choice. Unlike most games, the water selection in this one is very bad. No Gyarados, no Tentacruel, just a bum-ass Basculin, shit-ass Jellicent, everywhere. But you know what? I just like Tepig's vibes more, and a great starter like this needs a great and fitting name. So let's see here, what can we glean about Tepig? Well, he's orange, and we are in New York. But he's also based on a wrestler, and this is the first region that takes place in America. So let's see, we need an orange wrestler who's a real American. Does anybody fit that description?
Immortal Hulk Hogan!
What you gonna do, brother, when Hulk Hogan and the Hulkamaniacs run wild on you, dude? Bianca chooses Snivy, which leaves Chirin left with Oshawott. Now that all three of us have Pokemon, Bianca challenges us to a battle, forgetting that her Grass type is weak against our Fire type. This lapse in judgment is brought to you by her inferior female. Oh my god, this song is so goddamn good.
Go, go, go! Ah!
So I let Hulkamania run wild on her, completely destroying Bianca, which also, subsequently, completely destroys my room, making it look, honestly, more like it should. You just got nudie mags and tissues everywhere, and a bunch of mysterious stains left on the bed. We also destroyed Chirin, and now must head to Juniper's lab. But instead of doing that, I decided to go up to Chirin's room to check out his collection of hardback Yowie comics. Man, that guy's hands are huge! We also decided to go to Bianca's house, where I watched her get into a domestic with her father. I eventually decided to go to the lab, where Juniper gives us a Pokedex, and we're finally allowed to change Terry Bollea's name to Hulk Hogan, increasing his penis size from 7 inches to 10. Our mom also gives us a map, and we are finally ready to get into another conversation with these bumpkins, where we decide to take our first steps into our adventure. And by that, I mean a catching tutorial, which was totally worth it.
I'm gonna come.
Now with balls in hand, and all of that early game pitter-patter out of the way, we can finally begin our Nuzlock and catch ourselves. Can I reset? I name her Mephrat. We reach the next town, and unfortunately, it's the only town that has this song in it. Wow, this place is a shithole. So we head to the Pokemon Center, Juniper gives us the rub, and we're off to Route 2. But we're not actually, because instead we have to listen to this guy talk about, like, workers' liberation or some shit. I don't know, guys. I'm kind of getting a bad vibe from this dude. I don't know if it's because he's dressed like a Fire Emblem villain, or because his theme sounds like someone telling me a prophecy of the apocalypse. Man, Chirin, did you see those guys in their jabroni outfits? Like, what the fuck were they wearing? Your Pokemon, I know what it's saying. Chirin, just ignore the crackhead. Oh, god damn it. No, don't tell him our names, you idiot! So, this weirdo, his name is N. Huh, N. I wonder if that stands for something.
Well, brother, I think I know exactly what N stands for. Hulk Hogan, no!
So, this Frieza-posing weirdo challenges us to a battle. We whip his jabroni ass. He then proceeds to say some cryptic stuff and runs away. Ha! Strange guy. Yeah, I know, Chirin. Why the hell did you tell him our names, brother? Route 2, and fuck. This is the worst possible luck I could have got for Pokemon in the start. I decide to name him Alex Jones. We also get into a battle with Bianca. We enter Stratton, and then proceed to immediately leave Stratton into the Dream Yard, where we get jump scared by a critical hit.
That's a lot of damage.
We also acquire a pansexual, I name Weed Monkey. Back to Stratton, where we go to college to gain some knowledge. We also beat up Chirin with the help of our brand new Weed Monkey.
Hey, Joey, I got some stuff you just gotta try. What is it? Pot. You know, marijuana. Well, I don't know. What are you, chicken?
And now our Pokemon are ready to take on that bitch-ass Siren, who proceeds to commit mitosis, splitting himself into 3 different beings. And now we need to fight the femboy one. So Sexy Cylon sends out his first Pokemon, Lillipup, and we let Pasta Mania run wild on that little dude. But next up is his Panpour, so we get Hulk Hogan out of there and send in Weed Monkey. This is your Panpour. This is your Panpour after a Vine Whip. Any questions? After the battle, this lady named Fennel, a friend of Juniper, apparently has something to give us. My room is upstairs. Here, come on. Go upstairs. Wait, is this? Oh my god. My love quest is finally over! I feel amazing. I can do this. Yes, yeah. Why is there a 6-year-old here? Unfortunately, the only thing she wanted to give us was the HM cut. And a fetch quest to get some Muna jizz or something from the Dream Yard. So we go to the Dream Yard to find a Muna, and we do find one. But we also find a couple of those weirdos from the town over, who start fucking the Muna sex style. Bro, fucking cut that out. Seriously, dude, I get it. You know, Muna looks vaguely like a butt, but still, man. Okay, I've had enough of this. Mephrat, go bite this guy's balls off. All of a sudden, that Fire Emblem villain Get-Shits or something shows up, and he tells his boys to FO. But it turns out that he wasn't actually there this entire time, because we were actually just tripping balls. Fennel gets her jizz, and we're off to Route 3, which has this lovely little daycare over here. Whee! Cheer-in jump scare. After we defeat him, some of those plasma bozos come running through, followed by Bianca and a little girl. It turns out that those ball lickers have stolen this little girl's Pokemon. What a bunch of douchebags. Go get him, Cheerin'! What do you mean I have to go as well? Fine. We head to the cave that they're hiding in. We start scrapping. I throw my New York rat at them, and now one of them has the bubonic plague, AIDS, and an addiction to fentanyl. Cheerin also beats up his guys, but more of them show up, and we must tag team against them. Hulk Hogan delivers a devastating big boot, and the leg drop. And after seeing that they're absolutely no match for Hulkamania, they give us that little girl's Pokemon back. Now that Team Plasma's been dealt with, I can finally try to catch a Pokemon in the dark grass over here. I'm hoping to try to get, like 2 Pokemon at once because, I'm gonna be quite honest, I really don't want a Pidove. And I don't get what I want, and instead just a Pidove. That I decide to name Trash, because Pidove is fucking garbage. Continuing on, Hulk Hogan evolves, and we return to that cave, where I catch a Roggenrola I name Rock Smash. Yeah, I'm just saying. Whoever at Game Freak decided to make a walking butthole Pokemon, I'm only human after all. It's my dick in a rock. We reach Nakreen City. Cheerin gives us some berries, and we encounter that crackhead from before. He decides to battle us, to test us on our conviction about Pokemon being stored inside of balls. You know what? I don't think my convictions are very strong on this. I think I agree with him. Why is it in the last game we could have our Pokemon run around behind us, but in this game we can't do it? Like, what a fucking jip. Oh yeah, the fight. It's a little touch and go. Weed Monkey and Rock Smash almost die, but we managed to pull through in the end. After that near disaster, I decide to try to get into the inner part of Pinwheel Forest, but I am blocked. Because of that, I go back to Route 3 to do some training, and thank God Audino exists. Like, this makes life so much easier. Mephrat evolves, and now I am ready to take on the gym leader. after I figure out how the hell this puzzle works. Oh god, how embarrassing. I can't do this puzzle made for like 10-year-old children. After spending like 20 minutes slamming my head against every possible thing I can interact with, the secret door opens. And we can now take on the gym leader, Lenora. And I don't know about you, but Lenora has always given me a lot of issues. So, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if one of my Pokemon, probably Mefrat, dies in this fight. The battle starts with Mefrat, up against her Herdier. And thanks to a couple lucky defense lowers, Mefrat wins that fight. Which means Lenora's down to her last Pokemon, her very own Mefrat. But I came prepared for this. You see, her Mefrat has Retaliate, which does a lot of damage. But luckily, our Mefrat of her own has Detect, and gets around this potentially bad situation. I get her out of there and switch in Rock Smash, who, as her name implies, I try to use Rock Smash with. But unfortunately, she falls asleep and is not waking up. Well, this sucks. I was kind of hoping on winning the battle with her. Oh well, whatever. I send in Hulk Hogan, who delivers the absolute worst punches you have ever seen in your life. After the fight, her husband comes running in, screaming about Team Plasma trying to steal some artifacts, and holy shit, that broad is fast. We get into the main area of the museum, and there's a gaggle of plasma goons, who all want head from a dragon. They grab it and bolt for it, somehow managing to outrun Trackstar Lenora. Then some guy shows up, as well as our jobber squad, and just like the Scooby Gang, we decide to split up and look for Team Plasma. Well, fuck that, I'm just gonna wait in the museum. So I can't battle the gym leader because of Team Plasma? Huh. Well, at least Chiron gives as much of a shit about this as I do. Eventually I get bored, and try to head to the next city, only for that green dude not to let us pass until we find those Plasma guys. So we head deeper into the forest, catching ourselves a Venipede. In the meantime, I name Swolipede. I try to rush through this as quickly as possible, but Team Plasma has invented this devious strategy called a field of view.
Sorry, I'm empty-handed. Do I look like the kind of girl who could carry a heavy load?
So we fight our way through the forest, and eventually corner the guy who has very obviously just stolen a Dragonite skull. I mean, like, there's no other Pokemon that really looks like that. But then this Turkish dude pops out and tells this dork over here that that's just a Dragonite skull and not an actual legendary Pokemon. Well, you know, everyone has their misunderstandings from time to time. Water under the bridge, right guys? But then the Turkish dude decides that I might be a problem in the future, so he's just gonna kill us. So, hey, can we talk about this? I mean, it was just a Dragonite skull. Simple misunderstanding, right? I mean, you know, like, I could join you guys, you know? I don't really care that much about Pokemon Liberation, but, you know, I enjoy harassing people in the street, so... Oh, thank God Danny Sexbang is here. Lenora's also here. They show up, save our asses from getting murderified, and we return the head. Speaking of getting murderified, Swolipede, who unfortunately dies when I think he can take a Munna that he in fact cannot take. That's kind of rough. I really like Swirlipede. He didn't even get to fulfill his name's purpose. Oh well, whatever. First Pokemon of the game gone. With that bummer aside, we cross the big bridge and finally reach Castelia City. We try to fight Berg, only for Chiron to come wanging out of the gym. Apparently, he managed to beat Berg, which is, pretty implausible. Then Berg comes flying out, and now we must head to the docks, because some idiot got our Pokemon stolen. That idiot in question is Bianca. Well, I'm sure Berg can handle it. We decide to go sightseeing and head to the Game Freak headquarters. Can I get the attention of all staff? Whoever decided to make Skyla a, and I quote, sexy Latina with huge boobs and a slim waist. Could you please come to the front? Because I must personally thank you. We then head to Route 4, where I catch a Scraggy I name Kylo Ren. We get flashed in an alley. I tell this guy the secret password, ball enjoyment. You know, something I really like about this game is the fact that you get a lot of really good items that I feel are usually locked behind the end game. Case in point, we get ourselves the Eviolite, which will be very useful considering the absolutely ridiculous level requirements for some of the evolutions in this game.
Holy Jesus. What is that?
So I finally decide to try and save Bianca's Pokemon. Not because I particularly want to, but just because we need to progress the story. And me and Berg get jumped by a group of goons, which gives us an opportunity for Kylo Ren to prove his worth. Because Scraggy, gonna be honest, not my favorite Pokemon. And I love him. A super tanky Pokemon with Moxie to boost its attack? It's lovely. Perfection. Team Plasma retreats into the building that they were guarding. And Berg gives chase, followed by 2 teenage girls. I decide to follow them, and we encounter 2 Polish dudes, and that evil guy who says some evil stuff and looks like a smug asshole. He gives Bianca's Pokemon back and teleports away before we get a chance to call the police. Wait, why didn't we call the police on them? Oh well, whatever. With that kerfuffle over with, the gym becomes open to us. I do a little bit of training, and head on in. This gym should be easy. Rock Smash and Hulk Hogan got this in the bag, for sure. We start off the battle with Rock Smash, and I have the weirdest form of luck at the start. When I use Rock Throw, I get 2 of them, and at least one of them is a critical hit, 3 times in a row. Try calculating the chances on that. Big boot, leg drop, posing, easy dub. After the battle, Bianca gives us a call, asking if we'd like to battle. We absolutely wipe her, and speaking of wiping people, Chirin also tries his luck, and results are the exact same. It's actually even worse for him, because Chirin's team sucks, and his taste in Pokemon is bad. After the annihilation of Chirin, I go back and grab the EXP share, and we're off to the desert. We beat up some dudes, and meet up with Juniper, who gives us some balls. Upon entering Nimbasa City, there are a couple of goons that are up to no good, harassing this old dude in this neighborhood. We get into one little fight, and the goons get scared, and they run. Instead of chasing down those doofuses, we divert to the dusty dunes of the desert resort, catching ourselves the Macho Man Randy Savage, yeah. Finally bonding the Mega Powers together. We then detour to Route 16, where I catch a Gothita I name Gothita. We then head to this forest or whatever, where I catch a Swablu I name Cell. We try and head to Route 5, but are stopped by Bianca, who wants to make us play dress-up with her. But I refuse, because that sounds totally gay. But when we try to leave, we get into another domestic between Bianca and her father, who wants Bianca to come home. But then from the top turnbuckle, Elisa shows up, the gym leader, who you can tell is a model because even her sprite has anorexia. She tells Bianca that she is cool or something, and that's about enough to get her father to go back home. Now that that's done with, we can finally go to Route 5, where I get myself a pile of trash I name James Corden. Last, but certainly not least on our catching spree, we head down to the Relic Castle and get ourselves the shell fossil, or whatever it is probably called. We also get a Yamask. I named the DCEU because it's dead, and I will forever dance on its grave. Okay, now that we've enslaved some new friends, time to commit some politically motivated murders against people I personally disagree with. Okay, you Pokemon fucking communists. Oh no, not this guy again. Yep, that crackhead shows up and somehow convinces us to get on a Ferris wheel with him. I must tell you, I am the king of Team Plasma. What? Unfortunately, he lives, and he decides to challenge us to a battle, to buy some time for the rest of Team Plasma to escape. So we slap him so hard that it causes a perspective change, where the Crackhead King claims that he will be the best, like no one ever was, and force everyone to release their Pokemon. Well, hopefully that's not my problem. We can finally head to the 4th gym, where we beat up all the gym trainers. But leave before fighting the gym, so I can run all the way back to Necrene City to revive our fossil, and name him Blastoise. Then run all the way back to fight the gym leader. To start off the battle, we use Mefrat against her 2 Emolgas, who keep on switching in and out, thanks to Volt Switch. Mefrat does good damage to one of them, and kills the other one. But she's kind of fucked up after all those Volt Switches. So I decide to send in...
Well, come on in, Macho Man Randy Savage.
So I can get a free switch in to Rock Smash, who has become significantly less smashable, now that she is no longer a walking butthole. But hey, where there's a will, there is a way. Emolga uses Volt Switch, and that really fucks up Rock Smash's day. It also sends out her Zebstrika, so back into
Macho Man Randy Savage, the cream of the crop!
He also slaps Emolga, winning us our 4th gym badge. Well, that was pretty difficult. I wonder who the next oh, fuck, it's Clay. Hold on, where is he? All correct, Weed Monkey. You're back on the team. For the time being. Also here, take this leaf stone, you leaf stoner. We start heading to Driftvale City, only to be stopped by Chirin, who somehow managed to beat Elisa with his bum-ass team.
Meow?
Stop calling me Ben.
Jesse, we need to game.
Yo, homeboy! Welcome to the hood, brother!
We meet up with Elisa, who decides to let us pass the drawbridge, which, as a model, she somehow has the power to do. On our way to the bridge, though, we run into Champion Alder, who is enjoying a lovely day off. Chirin decides to insult the man for this, so he makes us beat up some children. Elisa lowers the bridges in. Man, they just look like 2 dicks. And the dicks are docking, let's go! So we cross the drawbridge, and immediately meet the next gym leader, Clay, who had, just a moment ago, rounded up a group of Plasma Ruffians, but let them go by accident when the drawbridge got lowered. Which is somehow our fault, and now it is our job to go find them if we want to battle him. What a lazy prick. So we start looking. I check every house, nothing. I peruse the market square, but still, Nothing. So we next check the cold storage, where I catch myself a herdier. I name Bismarck, after the guy, not the ship, or the city, or the gotcha game girl, or the other gotcha game girl, or the other one. Jesus, how many boat women gotcha games are there? We eventually find those hooded hoes, huddling in a sea can. I don't know why we don't just, like, close the doors on them and then, I don't know, huck them into a river or something. But whatever, we go on in and start putting ass to boot.
Have you learned your lesson now? I'm such a sore loser.
After we beat up everyone in Team Plasma, Clay comes in and takes all the credit. And now I must wonder, does Clay have the right to take Team Plasma away? Is this kidnapping? Does being a gym leader make you a deputized member of the law enforcement? No, whatever. Fucking Pokemon's dumb. Oh, yeah, right. Also, Chiron calls them a waste of oxygen. We head to the next route, Route 6. I catch a deerling, I name Smiley Face, fight our way through before getting clotheslined by a wall that can only be removed by defeating the next gym leader. So we head there, only to find a whole lot of Team Plasma guys sitting outside of there. And Clay, being a bitch, just lets them take their boys back without a fight. Okay, the gym. Time to talk about the gym. So, usually I would be absolutely horrified by Clay. I mean, we were barely able to pull through against Elisa and her two Emolgas. But Excadrill is on a whole new level. That boy has a lot of attack. But you see, it turns out that Weed Monkey can actually just sweep here. Yeah, with a Miracle Seed, it turns out that Weed Monkey can just BTFO Clay's entire team. Not even a critical hit can even stop this guy. Making what I thought was going to be the worst gym leader into our first gym leader sweep. I had a harder time on Route 6 fighting this dude's Minchino. Speaking of Route 6, we head there. Clay removes the conveniently placed wall that was blocking us from moving forward, and we charge into Chargestone Cave, but immediately get jumped by ninjas who take us like 5 feet to N. Who reveals that GetShits has been spying on us with ninjas. Wait, how long has he been spying on me?
Well, my daddy taught me a few things too, like how not to rip the skin by using someone else's mouth instead of your own hands. Will you show me? I'd be right happy to.
Also, apparently, according to N, I'm like the chosen one or something like that. I don't really fucking care. Continuing on, we encounter Juniper and Bianca, who desire to waste more of our time. Then give us a lucky egg. Never mind. Time well wasted. Chargestone Cave has only good Pokemon in it for us. I really would not be disappointed with any of these Pokemon that I could get. Except for Tynamo.
I'm gonna come.
I get a fucking Ferrothorn. I name Buttplug. Man, there's been a lot of interruptions this cave, but hopefully we're past the worst. Oh, fuck, no! No! Can you guys just, like, throw me off the bridge and get this shit over with? Yes, I know Team Plasma's down there. Both N and the Bulbapedia article told me beforehand. Yep, Team Plasma has now showed up, simply to be annoying. And the cherry on top of that annoying sundae is N, who continues to ask me questions that I refuse to answer. So he decides to battle us, but his team is completely weak to the Mega Powers, who completely bury N and his team of jobbers. After the battle with N, Juniper and Bianca shows up, and N starts spurging out. Well, that was annoying, but we're finally here, Mistralton City, a gigantic airfield with like 2 houses next to it. Before we get a chance to explore this city, however, we get stopped by this random dude, who for some reason knows our name and wants to see our Pokedex. Aw man, 67. Now that's crazy. This dude introduces himself as Juniper Sr., the one we know's father. Wait, really? How old is Juniper then? He also introduces us to his hot girlfriend. And man, this old dude's got game. I mean, look at this lady. She's so thick, with 2 C's, even her field sprite is thick. She introduces herself as Skyla, and tells us to meet her at Celestial Tower. We explore the next route, and catch a Zeb Striker we name Ray.
Ray Skywalker.
I'm gonna come.
We head to Celestial Tower, where I catch a Litwick I name Duke Nukem. And holy shit, there's a lot of trainers here. After a rather difficult time, we reach the top. Skyla, girl, how are you not freezing up here? It's like the middle of winter and you're wearing practically nothing. She dragged me all the way over here because she thought she saw a sick Pokemon. Well, I guess that's fine, whatever. We ring the bell, and she formally invites us to challenge her at her gym. It's gym time. We go in there, beat up all the trainers. I break my face on this wall. We leave, do some training, and then I break my face on the same wall.
That's the wall up there, brother.
Okay, the gym strategy. The gym strategy is the exact same strategy they had in the hit 2019 film, The Rise of Skywalker. And that is, just let Rey do everything. And yeah, that plan works perfectly. It is perfect, just like the Star Wars sequel trilogy. With Skyla beaten, we make a beeline to Mastralton Cave. But, then I realize I don't actually have Surf and can't make it to the cave. So I head to Twist Mountain, beat up Sheeran, and Alder gives us Surf. Back to Mastralton Cave, where I have a scare. I almost catch a Drillbur. Luckily, it was just a Duskstone. So it's back to Twist Mountain, where I catch a Drillbur I name Teto. Because Excadrill has twin drills, and so does Teto. Also, Excadrill evolves at level 31, and Teto is 31. Back to Mastralton Cave, and for some reason, no Pokemon are appearing. I have a level 31 out in front, but despite that, no Pokemon are appearing. Did they change it in this game so that Pokemon won't appear if you're an equal level to them? Okay, so I need a level 30, let's see, 31, 31, 31, 32. The closest Pokemon I have is Buttplug, which I decide to train up to level 30. And while training him, Hulk Hogan evolves into his final form. Okay. Now that he's level 30, we go back to Mastralton Cave and finally get Naxu. Wait, level 30? But I thought, oh god, I could have done all that work and got a Woobat. But whatever, it worked out in the end, and I got my Axew, that I named Vader. We will watch your career with great interest. We go through Mastralton Cave and grab everything that's not nailed down.
Hi, doggy.
We check our new friend, and oh my god,
He's jolly.
back to Twist Mountain, and unfortunately, the month changed over while I was trying to catch an Axew, so I can't just skip over the entire cave. We have one fight with a pro that's a little difficult, but everything goes smoothly. Oh fuck. Well, I guess life imitates art that imitates life that art imitates. Kylo Ren failed to live up to his expectations and died suddenly. And for no reason, but also in a way that was kinda funny. At the end of Twist Mountain, we get stopped by our 100th cutscene of Team Plasma trying to steal someone's Pokemon, only to be interrupted by another Team Plasma jabroni telling us that N has dropped at Tilted Towers. On the other side of Twist Mountain, we encounter Juniper Sr., who drops some lore about Tilted Towers. Apparently, it is the oldest building in all of Unova. It also has the legendary Pokemon that created the Unova region in it. Yep. Okay. Wait, what? Oh shit. Wait, isn't that where N's going? Nah, I'm sure it's fine. No one's ever been in there, apparently, so I'm sure whatever security system it has can deal with jabroni-ass N. So instead of dealing with this potential crisis, I have a different strategy, and that is to go on vacation to Route 17. What could possibly be bad about a little bit of vacation time? But before my vacation, I must wrangle all the Pokemon in the Icarus City area. In the city itself, I catch a Stunfish. I name, whatever this face is. On Route 8, I catch a Palpitoad. I name Hillary Clinton, because the Clintons are a group of pedophile lizard people. But wait, isn't Palpitoad technically an amphibian, not a rep? In this weird area over here, I catch a Shelmet. I name Kissy Emoji, and now with that all done, it is time for our vacation. At the start of our vacation, I meet up with my very good friend, Jeffrey Epstein. Our vacation then takes us to the lovely island of Route 18, where I think about getting the Volcarona egg until I look at what level it evolves at. Oh Jesus. So instead, I grab a rock. It wasn't a rock. It was a rock lobster. And finally, our vacation takes us to the lovely island of P2 Laboratory, where I meet up with one of Germany's strongest soldiers, Colonel Klink. We do some partying. Ah, that was a fun little vacation. Now, what was going on before I left? I think Zekrom shot Franz Joseph or something. I declare war on Luxembourg. Wait. What? Oh. Unfortunately, we will not be invading Luxembourg today, but instead we will be battling the Ice-type gym leader, Snow Biden. You see, I have this special plan for defeating him called Use Hulk Hogan. But his Beartic has brine. But that's why I got the Expert Belt. And Hulk, it still doesn't kill. Fuck. Okay. New strategy.
That's right, we're gonna cheat.
Okay. New strategy. We hit Beartic with a shitty move like Bulldoze, and then kill him. What could possibly go wrong? He uses Swagger. Fuck. Okay, so I then tried to send in Bismarck in hopes he stops using Swagger. And that plan goes about as well as Bismarck's anti-socialist laws. Not good. Okay. Scheme 2. We send in Cell in hopes that he tries to go for the super effective move. Another failure. Okay, at this point, he hasn't used Swagger. And at this point, I'm also just saying, fuck it, let's just hit him and see what happens, and yeah, I should have just did that at the start. And yeah, that basically does it. Well, that was way stupider than it had to be. When we leave the gym, Chiron and Bianca are outside waiting for us. Then the gym leader for some reason pops out and dramatically asks, "Who's there?" And those fuck-ass ninjas show up to tell us to go to Tilted Towers because N has gotten in. Oh shit, maybe that vacation was a bad idea. At Tilted Towers, I catch a Minfu. I name 50 because that's the level it evolves at. Tilted Towers is completely crawling with Team Plasma jabroni ball lickers. Luckily, Snow Biden and Jiren are dealing with a large group of them, which allows me to slip by mostly unmolested, or at least it would, until I get to the second last floor, where I am absolutely swarmed. We beat off 4 dudes at once, and reach the top, but we're just a little bit too late, as N now has control over the legendary dragon Pokemon, Zekrom. If only there was something that could have been done to stop him sooner. Now with the power of a legendary Pokemon, N is off to beat off the champion. He then tells us that all we need to do to beat him is revive the legendary Pokemon Reshiram and become the legendary hero of truth. But I have a better solution.
I get the thing, get the fly. The thing.
Hi, hello, hi. I need 3 tickets for the first flight to literally any other region. Hello? Mom? I need you to grab our passports immediately, and any valuable things and cash you can fit in a bag. I need you to hurry, too. Trash will be here to pick you up and take you to Mastralton City very soon. So I grabbed a Latina and a case of beer and said, N is coming. Let's get out of here. Avita Zane. Good to see you. Got a one-way ticket to Argentina. Yeah. I don't even know where this plane is going. Excuse me, sir. You wouldn't happen to know where this plane is going, do you? Hello? No. No, it can't be. No. No. No! We go to Relic Castle, because apparently Reshiram is down there somewhere. But all we find is more Team Plasma grunts. There's a goddamn infestation of these bastards in this game. We get to the bottom, but all we find down there is that Get Shits guy, who's basically just down there to mock us. But instead of the 3 of us just, killing the guy and burying him somewhere in the sand, we just allow him to leave. Well, that was a huge waste of time. Luckily, we get a call from Juniper, who tells us that Lenora's already yoinked the ancient priceless artifact that summons Reshiram from there quite a while ago, and put it inside of her museum, British style. So we go there, and get ourselves the White Stone. With it, we can now summon the legendary Pokemon, Reshiram. So, how do we do that? Shit. Now we are off to Opalescent City, because, someone there might know how to turn the rock on. Maybe? Ah, shit, I forgot to heal after that gym. Luckily, it's just Bianca and her Pokemon are 3 levels under mine. We enter the Tube Line Bridge and oh, it's that fucking asshole. Maybe if I just walk over here, he won't. Oh, you fuckers. You know he has legs, right? He can just lock me in a cutscene on his own. He doesn't need you bastards. Shut up, I don't care. On Route 9, the pitcher throws the first pitch. I catch a Minchino. I name Fluffy. In Opalescent City, Get Shits is talking big talk about Zekrom and how everyone must now give up their Pokemon. And Get Shits, people might be a bit more amenable to your suggestion if you weren't playing evilmusic.mp3. I don't know, maybe just change it to like Lyra's theme or something like that, and that might help. After that, we start talking to the 2 gym leaders, Drayden, who is a sexy grandpa, and Iris, who looks like she's 5. The 2 tell us some lore about the dragons, and how they used to be one, controlled by twin heroes, until they got into a fight on whether or not traps were gay or not, which ended up splitting the dragon into 2. But the whole reason we came here, to see if they knew how to turn Reshiram on, is a bust, as they do not. Oh well, whatever. It's gym time, and just like Clay, I was initially very worried about this gym. I mean, look at it. He's got Haxorus, and Haxorus is not a Pokemon I really want to fight. But then I found out that Teto gets Swords Dance at level 42, and there is literally nothing his first Pokemon can do to her. So that is why I have decided that I will do this battle with only Teto. If she fails, then the run is completely over. Take it away, Teto!
Teto.
Now with that taken care of, we can finally head to Victory Road. And now it is time to reveal my secret project. Lord Veta, arise. Before we can go to Victory Road, we first must go through Route 10, where I catch a fungus I name Pen 15. We also encounter a wild Chirin and Bianca for the last time. The former wishing to battle us to see if we are truly strong enough to take on N. If it, has to come down to that. With that, our final battle commences. I think you know the drill by now. Rock move, Cell, Hulk Hogan, Big Boot, Leg Drop. That's about that.
Liar!
After the fight, Chirin heals our Pokemon, and Bianca gives us some useless revives. They wish us good luck, and I would try to make fun of this scene, but unfortunately the music on this route is so good, I physically cannot do that. We're finally here, the gates to Victory Road, which have a 2-second animation to open them, and there's like 8 of them. Look, Ma, I'm Vor. We're finally here. Victory Road, our last challenge before the Elite Four. I catch a Swoobat. I name Buttface. We beat up some trainers. I slide down a hill. Whee! And avoid some trainers that, honestly, I don't want to fight. And after like 20 minutes or so, we're at the end. The top. And you know what that means. It's time for free Elite Four grinding and strategy time. My personal favorite time. Okay, so the Elite Four. I have 3 out of 4 of them in the bag. Hulk Hogan, Cell, and the Macho Man will probably be able to deal with 3 of 4 of the Elite Four. But the 4th member, Marshall, is gonna be an issue. You see, my team is really shit against fighting types, and Marshall is a fighting type guy. So I'm gonna need some sort of psychic or flying type on my teams. So let's see, my options here are Trash or Goth Feet. Let's see. Unpheasant actually has some pretty nice stats. Or at least it would, if it learned any actual good physical moves that wasn't returned. So I guess that just leaves me with Gothita. She's actually got some pretty good tanking stats and has enough speed to outspeed Conkeldurr, the main threat of Marshall's team. I also noticed that my team is kinda lacking in the special attack department, so I bring in Duke Nukem.
Hail to the king, baby.
With his 140 special attack, which will certainly nuke him. Duke style. And for those two, I replace Bismarck and Teto. Oh, but do not worry, as they will return in Avengers Endgame. I think. Here's the team. I'm keeping their level under the champions level, not the Elite Fours. I don't know if that's how people usually do this game or not, but that's how I'm doing it. So, I don't know, if you have an issue with it, get over it. With all of that, let's get this Elite Four done. I decide to start out with, by far, my hardest challenge, Marshall, the fighting type guy, who I think has the worst design in all of Pokemon. Like, I get that this is supposed to be a mouth guard, but honestly, it just looks like blue lipstick. His first Pokemon, Fro, gets completely dominated by Gothita. Next up is Minshao, and I decide to do what the previous Pokemon's namesake was, and Fro. I keep in Gothita for some reason, and she takes a really hard hit from U-turn, allowing Marshall to switch in Sock, who has the incredibly annoying Sturdy ability. I decide to get Gothita out of there and switch into Vader, who proceeds to dance and kills Sock in a single move because of Mold Breaker. And no, at the time, I had no idea that Mold Breaker affected Sturdy like that. But I'm gonna pretend like I did because it makes me look smarter-er. Back into Minshao. And Marshall is down to his last Pokemon, and by far, his most scary Pokemon, Conkeldurr. I was hoping that one Vader Dragon Dance would be enough to kill him, but unfortunately, it isn't. So I decide to switch in to Dude Noodum, and Conkeldurr whips a hammer arm at him. I then switch into the Macho Man Randy Savage, who tanks a Stone Edge. Back into Gothita, who luckily doesn't get crit by hammer arm, and that's pretty much it. Stomp, stomp, and the game is done. Whew, that was a stressful battle. Thanks, Gothita. You and your cool-ass cry will never be forgotten. Next up on the chopping block is the ghost-type lady, Shantae. And Duke Nukem should have this, I think. I mean, he gets rid of Cofagrigus and Gaulers pretty easily. But then, Jellicent. Duke Nukem does not kill it.
Holy shit.
So I am forced to send in Cell, who bops Jellicent and sends in her last Pokemon, her very own Chandelure. Unfortunately, the freaking Duke has Flame Body and not Flash Fire, so he'd probably die to a Fire Blast. And because of that, I send in Hulk Hogan, and even though the move is not very effective, it still does quite a lot of damage. Out comes Macho Man Randy Savage, who snaps Chandelure like it was a Slim Jim, winning us our second fight. Okay. Those two fights were probably the only two Elite Four members I was gonna have a hard time with. The rest should be pretty easy. Speaking of easy, next up is this Dark-type guy, who is a, frankly, fabulous dresser. Now, originally, this was going to be a Hulk Hogan and Cell affair, but then I realized that Vader gets Brick Break, and his first Pokemon...
You can't touch this.
Okay, that was easy. Last one, and it's a Macho Man sweep. For the first time in this game, I have gotten a Moxie sweep. Now, there was a danger that Syphilis could outspeed us if it had a speed nature, but she didn't. So yeah, that was pretty much that. Okay, we're here. Up there is the champion of the Elite Four. I'm scared. Well, hopefully Alder was able to deal with that end guy, because honestly, I don't wanna... oh, fuck. So yeah, N managed to beat the champion, and for some reason, instead of just crushing us here and now, he instead decides to summon a castle out of the ground, Rise of Skywalker style, and says that he will beat us up there. And if things couldn't get any worse, Jiren shows up and tells us to tell N something that I am not gonna tell him, because frankly, it's kinda dumb. So I climb up the stairs, but instead of N waiting for me on the other side, it's a gaggle of old dudes who wish to sextuple team me. You fools! Do you really think an old man Bukkake is gonna stop me? Ha! This isn't the first time I've had to suck and fuck my way out of a situation. Sadly though, Clay shows up and, instead of joining the Bukkake, he brings all the gym leaders with him. And they do battle with the gaggle of old dudes in a fight scene that looks like the intro to the challenge of the Super Friends. Well, good luck, guys. While that fracas is going on, we decide to explore the castle and get pointed out where we can heal our Pokemon by those ninjas. Thanks, buddy. We also get access to a PC box, and I have to wonder, you see, this guy over here says that he could just pick Pokemon out of the PC box if he really wanted to. So, why doesn't he just fucking do that? I feel like you could just save a lot of time if you just started stealing Pokemon out of the PC box and just releasing them there. Instead of this whole, oh, N has the dragon and will become the champion of the universe. Just saying. Now that I have access to a PC box, I decide to put Gothito away and replace her with Teto. I also decide to put Cell back and replace it with Buttplug, leaving Bismarck behind, which hopefully won't fuck me over in the end. We also get to go into N's room. And let me just say, thank God all I have to do is beat this guy in a Pokemon match, because if it came down to a basketball match, we'd be kind of fucked. Okay, that's enough bumming around this castle. Time to actually confront N. But before we can do that, Get Shits pops out of the throne room and can't go the entire game without his evil spaghetti falling out of his pocket. It turns out, he doesn't actually care about Pokemon liberation. He actually just wants to take everyone's Pokemon away so that no one can oppose his absolute rule of the universe, because Team Plasma will be the only people in the world with Pokemon. I see. Now I get how this game has anything to do with the United States. It was a metaphor for 1776 this entire time. Giovanni took the Pokemon, Maxie took the Pokemon, Cyrus took the Pokemon, Lysander took the Pokemon. You listen to me, Get Shits. 1776 will commence again if you attempt to take our Pokemon. We enter the throne room, finally confronting N, and despite the dramatic change of scenery, Reshiram still refuses to appear. N gets tired of waiting for it to appear and decides to just kill us. But then, in our darkest hour, the white rock starts growing, and birthed from it, a Reshiram. Now we must catch it. And so we do, and I name it Motorbutt. Unfortunately, Motorbutt is an invalid Pokemon, and thus is banished to the box forever. Now that I have proven myself worthy of being the hero of truth, we can do battle with N, who promises to sweep us aside with Zekrom. Only issue with that, I have a Pokemon that's even more powerful than Zekrom. Her name is Teto, who Zekrom can't do dick or shit to. Next up is Kling Clang. Why would N send in a Pokemon that is weak against our Pokemon and also can't do anything to her. I send in Hulk Hogan, and N, the idiot, decides to use Focus Blast. Twice. And, well, the results speak for themselves. So, Zoroark gets ripped in two, and out comes his turtle guy. And in response to that, I send in Buttplug, whose only point of being on this team is just to get past this guy's sturdy. So yeah, Turtle Guy gets his ass destroyed by our Buttplug, and out comes Vanillex. So I send Hulk Hogan back, whose Floridian body is ill-equipped to handle a blizzard. But he still does manage to get the kill on Vanillex. Kling Clang is up next, and I decide to beat a hasty retreat with Hulk Hogan, and send in Teto, who sends him to another dimension! Now N is down to his last Pokemon, Archeops, who is also, probably, his most powerful Pokemon, 140 attack and 110 speed. Now, in hindsight, I probably should have kept Teto in there, as Archeops really can't do much to her. But instead, I decide to send in Buttplug, whose fight with Archeops is really close. He gets all the way down to 5 HP. But luckily, he manages to get the kill, winning the battle so hard and so thoroughly that it leaves N completely brain broken. Though he should already have felt brain broken, considering the fact that he is the hero of naive idealism. Meanwhile, I am the hero of being based and real and true. Donald Trump sucked Bill Clinton's cock. Then Getsus shows up and starts talking some major shit to N. He also can't go 5 seconds at this point without his evil spaghetti flying out of his pocket, as he reveals to N that he's been using him since he was a kid. For some reason, upon hearing that, N doesn't just obliterate the guy. Then Alder and Chiron show up, but they're useless and do nothing, as we are attacked by a screaming man who is dressed like a JRPG villain. Getsus's first Pokemon is the Pokemon that is banned from the Global Trade Network. It's also a Pokemon that can't do dick or shit to Teto, so we start setting up in his face. Next up is, oh fuck. I literally wanted any other Pokemon than that. But whatever, it's fine. I mean, he has Focus Blast. No, what are you doing? Stop! Teto! No! Teto! No! Oh god, it's Bouffalant. Here we go. I always have problems with Bouffalant. But luckily, I have Buttplug, and Bouffalant, just by touching our Buttplug, does like 2/3 of his own health. So yeah, bye-bye Bouffalant. And Electros comes out next, and I elect to send in Duke Nukem, who does not get the kill in one hit. But for some reason, okay. Electros has Crunch, but for some reason, instead of doing that, he uses Acrobatics on us. I mean, to be fair, it did get a critical hit.
You invincible headshot scripted cheater.
So I think in the end it would have done more damage than Crunch did, but still kinda odd. Okay, next up, Seismitoad. Oh, Seismitoad. Now, I could send in Buttplug, but there could be some bullshit, especially considering the accuracy of Power Whip. So, wait, what's his last Pokemon? It's Bisharp. My entire team would murder Bisharp. So yeah, this is his last Pokemon I have to worry about. No. Well, I guess it's time for you to make like the Duke Nukem franchise and die. Wait. Never mind. Fucking Duke Nukem is forever. He's here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And he's all out of asses to kick because that's it. That's done. He did it. But at what cost? Teto. Fuck you, Getsis. What does your scouter say about my ass and how to eat it? I hope you fall down those stairs on your way out. You fucking... Anywho, now that N and I are alone, he decides to tell us about his feelings. He also wishes us good luck and tells us to follow our dreams. Well, it wasn't always easy, but you know what? Bye-bye, my guy. I hope you have fun riding around on your Zekrom. And, you know, I don't mean that in the just an RPG way. Wait. Ah, shit. I went an entire Pokemon White game without making any just an RPG. Hey, thanks for watching this massive pile of garbage. If you enjoyed watching it, then I got some other Nuzlocks that might tickle your fancy. However, for my next video, it will not be anything Pokemon related, and instead will be on the upcoming Tomodachi Life game. I really hope it's good. And if you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to dislike it, flag a comment in the comment section, and report the video for, let's see here. Let's go for harassment and bullying. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again.
Or maybe I won't, brother.